Still hiding your confidence because your outfit isn't doing the talking? My name is Wuraola Ubaka. I am called your profitable fashion coach because if your business isn't making money, why are you even in business? At Wura, we don't just make clothes. We create statements. Our timeless ready-to-wear pieces are created for the woman who walks in grace, owns her space, and turns heads effortlessly. And if you are a fashionpreneur struggling to turn your talent into real income, especially if you are stuck in bespoke and want to transition to ready-to-wear, the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy is your next step. We teach fashion creatives how to structure, scale, and sell profitably. From the woman who wears it to the woman who makes it. Confidence and profits go hand in hand. Wura dresses you. The PFA builds you. So come, join the movement. Wear confidence and build profits with Wura and the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy. Welcome to another episode of My Profitable Fashionpreneur Journey. Tonight, we are joined by yet another profitable fashionpreneur. We call ourselves profitpreneurs. Yes, members of the Profit Circle, aka the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp, are called profitpreneurs. And tonight, we're going to be meeting another amazing profitpreneur who will be sharing her incredible journey in the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. And through the course of this week, we have met four. So I think in all now we have met 5 profitpreneurs sharing their journey of transformation. And it's always so exciting to see that everybody comes into the academy with a different lens. There's something new to take away from every story, from every encounter. And I can't wait to actually listen to what our guest for today has to say. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead to bring her up to the stage so that she can go ahead and share her journey through the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy. Hello, Carole. It is lovely to have you on tonight's episode of My Profitable Fashionpreneur Journey. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. It's always, such a humbling experience having, Profit Circle members come up here to share their testimony, the testimony of their transformation. And, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. So we're going to jump right into it. So first of all, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, where you're streaming live from, and your brand.
Okay, thank you, Coach Wura, and hello, everyone. My name is Carole Mwangu, and I am a fashionpreneur, like you have been told. I run a fashion brand called CAVERROH. CAVERROH is a ready-to-wear women's brand where we design and manufacture comfortable, versatile, and stylish clothing for image-conscious women to empower them to live a fashion-forward life. I am streaming in from Nairobi, Kenya, and I am so excited to be here with all of you and to share my journey through the Fashionpreneur Academy, the PFA, as we call it.
Thank you so much, Carole. So Miss Carole is streaming all the way from Kenya tonight. And I know that you are quite some hours ahead of us, so I can imagine what time it is. What's the time in Kenya right now?
It is right now it is 11:08 p.m.
Whoa. Whoa, so we are actually going to keep Carole till about midnight. Thank you so much. It's so humbling to just see the sacrifice you're making to be here right now. So yes, we are speaking to Carole, who is the founder of CAVERROH, a women's male ready-to-wear brand that designs clothing for the fashion-conscious woman to live a... Let me let you finish that sentence. I think I want to write that your tagline because the tagline is tagging.
All right. I said that we make versatile, comfortable, and stylish clothing for the image conscious women to empower them to live a fashion forward life.
Thank you. Thank you, CAVERROH. So now, can you go ahead and tell us how you first came to hear about the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp? In fact, let's even say, how did you even come to know about the PFA at all before we even get to the bootcamp?
All right. So I follow a lot of fashion people from, especially from Western Africa. I keep telling people around me that you people have a secret sauce that the rest of us do not know about. Anyway, so I think because of that, the advert for the PFA Dressmakers Conference came up on my first on my Instagram feed, and then came to my uh, Facebook feed. And then later on, I looked at it, but I assumed maybe you're charging an amount. So I went through it, but then I was like, okay, maybe I don't know. I just moved on with my life. 2 days before the dressmakers conference, a friend of mine sent um, the same post to me, and I was sure this was the universe telling me not to ignore this thing. And so I went through it, and to my surprise, it was free of charge. And I was like, where in this world do we get conferences free of charge? And so I went in, and it was a power packed conference. And okay, anyway, just to answer your question, that's how I got to know about it. I got to know about it through my social media feeds, and then a friend of mine also sent it to me.
Wow, what are the odds? What are actually the odds that you see something on social media, you skip through it, you see it on your Facebook, you see it on Instagram, you still skip through it, and then someone now sends it to you, and you're like I know that you just feel like this like if I didn't want to do this thing, now I just have to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing that story, and it really just tells us the importance of as entrepreneurs, keep 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 at it. If at the PFA we did not keep promoting the conference, keep promoting the programs, someone somewhere will not see it to share with another person, and another person that would actually land you here. So that's just a good takeaway. All right, so you saw the conference flyer and you said let you join it. So the first thing I would ask is that, why did you feel the need to join the conference? Where were you at the point where you needed to join the conference? What was the pain point? What was the parable problem? What did you feel was missing that made you think, you know what, I think I need to get extra help?
Okay, thank you for that question. For me, at that point, I've already told you that I had this notion, and I still do have it, that West Africans, especially Nigerians, there's something that you people know that the rest of us do not know. And so number one, seeing that there was some West African relation, there for me was a seller. I was like, maybe this is what I need to get to know what that secret sauce is. Okay. But specifically for my business, I've been running my business for a couple of years, but I've been going through it as though it is an expensive hobby, if I may use that term, because I felt like I was giving so much, yet I was not getting as much as I expected back from the business. And I blamed the business, and I felt like the business was failing. But which maybe we'll talk about in consequence conversation or questions. But I got to know that the problem was not the business. And so what got me in is because I felt like I needed to know what's wrong with my business. And I felt like the dressmakers conference could give me that information, because I'm a believer that you always keep learning. And if you have an opportunity to learn, just learning never ends, or should never end, or else you'll stagnate. And so my pain point at the time is I wanted to know what was wrong with my business.
All right. Thank you so much. It's one thing to know that, there's something wrong with your business, but it's another thing to actually seek out the help that you need. Seek out, to know that, okay, something is wrong and I'm not quite sure what is wrong, but I know something is wrong. So I need to actually find out what is wrong. And it's actually it's actually quite a bold step that you went ahead to say, let me actually put in this time to see what is wrong with my business. Okay, so let's fast forward. You joined the dressmakers conference. Take us through, the emotions you had through the course of the conference, and then how you eventually landed in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp.
Okay, so got in. I didn't even have any expectations. I didn't know what to expect. Was like, I'm sure I will learn one thing or two about, the fashion industry and what they do there, on that side of Africa. But when I got in, I found a power packed uh, conference. All the speakers were so knowledgeable in their field of expertise. And I was so amazed even at meeting, because that was my first interaction with you. And I was like, who is this person? And how does she know all this about, about fashion? And I was so impressed. And then I came first the first day. I thought maybe I wouldn't even stay on, but the second day and the third day, and I was sold. I was sold at the fact that every person knew exactly what they were talking about. Everything was relatable. I could see the problems in my business being addressed, and I knew, okay, if there is anything more than this conference, I'm signing up, whatever it is.
All right. So Carol signed up for the conference. By the way, the conference was free. And yes, the PFA Dressmakers Conference is an initiative that is going to be a yearly affair. So yes, there will be a PFA Dressmakers Conference in June 2026. So you can start marking your calendars from now. And yes, the conference will always be free. That is our way of giving back. Let's put it that way. So yeah, she joined in the conference, and she saw that there were gaps that even from the conference, she had now started seeing that, oh, perhaps this is the problem I'm having. Remember, she told us that she knew that her business needed help and she wanted to know how to run her business. Now she gets into the conference, she sees the arrays of speakers, and she sees that, okay, this person knows this part about this part of my business and this part about this part of my business. And then she says, okay, anything that they are selling after, I'm buying. All right. So we sold the 12-in-1 bundles at the conference, and we also upsold the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. And you came in. So now you've come into the boot camp, and we all know that you had the pain point of your business just not working, of it being an expensive hobby, in your words. So now you have come into the boot camp. Can you share with us, in tangible terms, how the boot camp addressed some of the issues you thought you had, some of the issues you didn't even know you had, and then some of the issues you now came to find out you had? Can you share in tangible terms what transformation the bootcamp, gave you, whether it's in terms of your personal life, your business life, family life, or otherwise?
Okay, thank you for that question, Coach. Um, so when I came in, again, I didn't know what to expect, but I knew from the experience of the conference, I knew there would be a lot for me to learn from. And then you said 90 days, and I was like, surely 90 days, what are we learning in 90 days? Let me tell you. I think even it should be longer, because there have been so many things that have been covered through, those. We haven't finished yet. We are at the tail end. But for me, there have been many things that have shifted. Number one, I realized that I lacked systems and structures, even not just the business, but me as a person, my own personal life. I needed systems and structures that would then support my business. And also on the business front, I was just running, I don't even think, let's just call it what it was. It was just a hobby that I was running for many years, not a structured business. And that is one of the things that has come out really strongly. And now I'm so grateful because I not only learned that I lacked system and structures, but there is also a way of building those systems and structures, be it in marketing, be it not even marketing, from the very ideation of designs to the whole process until you get to the customer, and even after sales service. Like you have allowed us or taught us how to develop the structures and put them in place. And now because before I was feeling like I'm in a forest and I don't have a map, I don't know where I'm going, I knew nothing. But now through this program, I've been able to, see the gaps and see the places where I need to put in systems and structures. There's also one major thing that has changed is my mindset. I think I was just looking at this business as something that is supposed to give me bread and butter, but you have been ramming it in my head and our heads that this is a divine assignment. And for me, that has shifted so many things. I'm not just looking at it with a laissez-faire kind of attitude, like whether it works or not, this thing has to work, or let me say, like you say it there, it has to work. The business has to work because it's a divine assignment. So, and tangibly, my profits have gone up because you've taught us how to price well. Before, I was pricing emotionally, depending, do I know this person? What history do we have? Yes, I had a template that I would put in my costs and all that, and then it would give me a preferred wholesale price and a preferred retail price. But somehow I'd still go to the retail price and try to argue with the template so that I can, appease people. But now you've taught us so much on pricing. Just this week, I had there's a tip you gave us, which I won't say it here. People have to join the bootcamp, but I used that tip, and I'm telling you, it worked. Even my customer did not bargain. The way in Kenya people really like bargaining, but because of that tip, they must have thought, this one has gone through the numbers and she knows exactly what she's talking about. I had gone through the numbers, but the tip helped. And so I could go on and on about so many things that I have learned and have shifted in my business. But because of the interest of time, I think those are my top three.
We haven't even asked you for top trio, Carole. We are here for you this evening. This evening is your evening. We're 18 minutes in and we are talking to Carole Mwangu, and she is the founder and creative director of CAVERROH. CAVERROH is a Kenyan ready-to-wear fashion brand that makes comfortable, stylish, and versatile clothing to empower women to live a fashion-forward life. Now, CAVERROH has been sharing her journey in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp of the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy, and she has told us that when she came into the academy, she was running her business as an expensive hobby. And there was something that she said that was so instructive. She said that even for herself, she lacked systems and structures as a person. And so she realized that because she hadn't even become the CEO that her business needs, she couldn't even translate any legacies. Just this week in the academy, I was sharing with the bootcamp participants, and I was saying that delegation is what you do after you have built your own capacity. But what happens many times is that we want to be delegating what we have not built capacity on, and so you don't even have the capacity to even delegate. And that's why so often businesses fail, delegation fails, but you think the problem is the business. When you fix the CEO, you fix the business. And so at the academy, we don't just teach you how to run a business, we build skills in you that ensure that you become the CEO that your business needs. And that's what Carole has really shared about how the journey has transformed her personally first. Because if you're not transformed as a CEO, then you cannot transform your business. So, thank you, Carole, for sharing that. So, now you have already preempted me. So, I'm going to now ask you your top 3 or 4 webinars from the academy. So, we have in the academy, we have, different teams every week that explore one aspect, of your ready to wear journey. So, take us through your top 4. Tell us the transformation each one brought to your business and why you chose those, as your top 4.
Okay, I wonder. Okay, fine. I will try and choose because I'm really struggling to choose because all of them have been so impactful. You have no idea. But just because I need to choose, I would say the customer. We had the customer avatar week. The one we were identifying who our customer is, because that's where it all starts. If you don't know who your customer is or what you're called to or how you're called to serve them, then you'll be running around in circles just like I was doing. I didn't know exactly how I was supposed to be serving them. I'm still in the process of finding out, or I mean, just refining the process. But you brought so much into light. Like, I need to obsess about my customer. I have no choice. I need to know what she likes, where she wants to shop, what she like, just know her i- completely in depth, in an in-depth manner. So that was a shift, because everything is tied: how you market, how you show up on social media, how you package, all of that is tied to who your customer is and what her preferences are, or what his preferences, depending on what market you're serving. So that was one. Number two, there was the pricing, because again, if you're not making money, why are you in business? Just like you like saying. So yes, that was absolutely life changing, because you taught us more than just pricing. You even taught us where to put, once we get the money, where do you put the money? Where do you invest the money? Coach, who does that? Like, you're a super coach who does not just give us piecemeal or just the basics. You go in depth. And so our businesses are better for it. Our businesses are now investing. We are not just taking money from the business and buying tomatoes and all that. So that is another one. Then there was the social media week. I'm telling you, even me being on this screen right now, is coach's doing, because she has made us do so many videos. I was the kind of person who just let me be behind the scene. I don't want to be in front of a camera. And but you have told us you have to get away from that mentality, and you've for making us do all those videos that has prepared me for this. And so I'm so super grateful that I can now show up for my business, online, and not feel like I need to be hiding out. Then the other one, oh gosh, there's so many. Uh, I think the other one, okay, this one for creating mood boards.
Okay, production.
Yes, that one. So I had fallen into this trap of doing what everybody else was doing. I mean, we are all doing kimonos. So why am I not doing kimonos? Despite the fact that I know deep inside that I am made for so much more. I'm not downplaying kimonos and all, but I feel like there is a creativity that I'm not exercising out there because of following trends and following what people are doing, And so you helped us to see how we need to differentiate ourselves, even as we follow the trends, but we need to be able to differentiate our brands and keep our pieces timeless. And this will come from looking deep within and creating from a place of, reflection. And that, okay, as much as I'd gone through fashion school, later on I went to fashion school and were taught all these things. However, as soon as I finished, I packed the information because I was like, the industry requires you to keep producing. There's no time to go back and be creative. But that session helped me to see the importance of setting aside time to think through what I'm putting out in the market with the customer in mind. So those are my top 4.
Thank you so much, Miss Carole. So we are talking to Carole Mwangu, who is the founder of CAVERROH. If you're in Kenya, if you're on this stream and you're in Kenya or you're in East Africa or you're anywhere in that environment, you really want to be shopping from CAVERROH, because if you're not a CAVERROH woman, who are you even shopping from, right? Carole has shared how she has been able to transform her business through the strategies she has learned in the academy. She has been able to understand the concept of making profits and even investing them. Because yes, I always say that it is not enough. Many times as fashion entrepreneurs and as entrepreneurs in itself, you think that you just need to make more money. Like the more money you make, the richer you will be, the more profitable your business is. But you see, when we think about profits in the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy, we're not just thinking about profits through the lens of selling more. There are many aspects of money. There's making money, there's multiplying money, there's managing money. And if you miss any of this in your ecosystem, you will still be leaking profits. And so our curriculum in the academy is created to help you first manage money, make money, and then multiply money, because that is really where your profits lie. So CAVERROH has been sharing her journey through the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy. And when she was asked what her top 4 weeks were, so yes, we run a weekly curriculum in the academy where every week we have a new theme that we are exploring that is supposed to move your business through a funnel and bring you out at the other side being more structured, more profitable, and definitely in a position where you have a solid foundation to scale. And she said she had 4 top webinars, and that would be understanding her customer, understanding her why, understanding her vision, understanding what her brand exists to do. She also told us that the pricing class was a game changer and she has been implementing it, and it has been implementing. The implementation is working. We they work, it they show. So she has been working the talk and it has been showing. And she has also shared that the social media week was, part of what she was able to actually use to implement in her business. And yes, at the academy, we build skills into you. I'm not a social media person. It's not in the ready-to-wear bootcamp. When you come to ready-to-wear bootcamp, you will drop "I'm not a social media person" at the door. We will say welcome. Oh yeah, keep "I'm not a social media person" one side first. In the bootcamp, you will learn to be a social media person, because whether you intend to be the frontline person of your brand or you intend to delegate that task, you need to have a clear picture of what it entails and what you will be communicating to whoever you want to delegate that task to. So we put you through every aspect that you need to become the frontline general of your business. We are not leaving anything to chance. That's what we do in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. So she has said she didn't used to show up on social media, but look at CAVERROH now. Can you believe this is someone that didn't want to be in the front of the camera? With your pretty face, your eloquent speech, everything is just blending, pam, pam,
Thank
pam, you're just
you.
giving it to us. Eh? No, you
Thank
must be in
you.
front of the camera. Shyness is evil. That's what my mentor says. My mentor will say shyness is evil. And it certainly is not a fruit of the spirit. We were not born shy. And that's why the Bible tells us that our light shine. You don't light a lamp and put it under a bushel. It is your job to let your light shine. And
Yeah,
not just let your light shine. It has to shine bright for others to see and glorify your Father in heaven. And whether you like it
true.
or not, inside the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp, your light must shine. Your light must shine. So she said the social media week was very insightful for her. And then for the last week, she actually what was the last week she chose? Why don't I have it? For the last week, for the in her top four, she actually chose the what was it? So understanding your customer pricing, social media week, and what was the fourth one?
The mood boarding week, the creating a collection week.
Yes, the mood boarding week. Yes, so she said production week was her fourth week because yeah, she did production in fashion school. I think we all do production in fashion school. They tell you, and then you think that mood boarding is an abstract concept. Like you come
Mhm.
out into the real world, especially if you're someone who first started out with bespoke, you just forget that there's anything called ideating, mood boarding, creating a collection and all that stuff. But yes, this is the ready to wear bootcamp. So we teach you how to be a fashion CEO. We don't want you to be going to Pinterest and copying people's styles. Copy, 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 copy. The copycat culture is so prevalent, especially in Africa, but we can really change that narrative
Yeah.
because all we just need to do is to be able to step back sometimes and actually think. So the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp teaches you to think. If you don't like to, you will when you enter bootcamp, your brain will start working. 4:40, you'll not be able to sleep. Yes, I said it. So, all right. So Miss Carol has shared her top three webinars. Okay, I'm going to now go ahead to ask you. Can you tell us a bit about, what the 12-in-1 ready-to-wear bundle? So as part of your payment for the bootcamp, you get access to the 12-in-1 ready-to-wear bundle, for free. So can you tell us, you know, which of those bundles you were able to use, if any? Normally they are part of the curriculum. So and how it was able to help you implement a documentation system.
Okay. The bundles, all of them. My goodness, you're making us choose. You're making me choose. Yet all of them are
Okay, just
so
share. Okay, share what I'm gonna let you share what you want to share this
okay. Let me no. Okay, let me just say the one that really guided me. All of them are relevant. Every time we have a new week, you usually tell us which bundle to use, and that's the thing. When I was at the dressmakers conference, you did sell the bundles, but when I went through them, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But now when I am in the boot camp, I'm like, now it even makes more sense. It's you can use the bundles, yes, but when you're in the boot camp, because you're working through, a specific topic every week, then the bundle really comes in handy. And I mean the bundles come in handy, especially for me, the one for inventory. Oh, that one helped me a lot. Because my inventory was everywhere. That's what I'm telling you. It's really hard to choose which week, but that bundle helped me to see exactly what needs to go where, what needs to be accounted for, how you need to account for it, and even there were templates that I could follow in order to put everything in its place. Without that, if you had just come and told us on the maybe on the training or on the live session that yes, you need to figure out your inventory, this and that, I probably wouldn't have gotten the real meat of the issue if at all I did not have a guide that was going step by step and showing me what to put where. So I feel like that for me was also very monumental in terms of, if I was to choose a bundle out of the 12. All of them are great. There is none that is lesser than the other, but that one really helped.
All right, thank you so much. You see, inventory will humble you. Even me, that is even coach, every day inventory humbles me because the day that you sit down to do inventory in your fashion business, if you've never done it, you're going to actually see where your money is. You know that money that you're chasing, you think it's inside your customer's
Mm-hmm.
pocket. It's in your inventory. That's where it is. And until you get serious, with your inventory, you may never be able to actually plug the leaks and see your profit. Because there's this meme they usually give that they say, if you want to kidnap a fashion designer, just show them fabric. Say, oh, nice fabric. Oh, nice fabric. And they'll just keep going and following you until they kidnap you. So that's the average fashion entrepreneur. So the only way you can actually keep that ooh, nice fabric in check is that you have an inventory system that tells you when to stop and when to move with regards to purchases and reinvesting your profits. And so it's really instructive that you actually brought that up. So thank you for sharing that. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Carol, you are in East Africa. And you have said that there's something about West Africa that you know has the secret sauce. So I'm going to ask you, this secret sauce that you felt West Africa had, how did that translate coming into the boot camp? So you felt that there's something about these West African people that is West African in that I want to know. So now that you have come into the boot camp, which by the way, we are very ready to, adopt you in West Africa, always ready to bring you here. Yes, we have big arable landmass, and we are ready to take you so you can come anytime you want. But now that you've come into the boot camp, what would you say you have discovered, or would you say that there was anything that you felt that, okay, maybe this is somewhere the East Africans can actually um take a page of this book and actually you know reinvent or something? Just, can you share that?
Okay. That's a good question. Thank you. I don't know if that is the secret sauce, but when I've watched you, I have never seen such consistency in my life. I've never come across someone who is who is so dedicated to the cause that they show up every day. In fact, I've been telling my friends, I don't know how this coach does it, because every day, without fail, come rain, come sunshine, I know there's going to be a voice note, which is something I always look forward to. And I know there's going to be a teaching, a written down teaching. And I'm like, this is why these people prosper, because they're committed and they're consistent. I'm telling you, I need to rethink my life completely after my encounter with you. And I'm so grateful that God has allowed me to be in your space and to just watch you doing what you do. In fact, I was telling one of my friends, the one who sent me the invite, she did not join the boot camp, but I told her, you need to come to that boot camp, sign up for the next boot camp, because she's one person who also likes to teach people online. But I was like, you need to get the consistency and just learn from Coach Wura how she does it, because maybe that is the thing that sets you people from, okay, let me speak for myself, from me apart, because there's so much consistency and there is commitment. Like, you keep telling us that this thing has to work, and that's why you show up, because this is a divine assignment. You don't take it as something that you're just doing, or it is a mandate from God. And so I feel like maybe that is the secret sauce, the commitment and just and the consistency.
All right, thank you so much, Carol. Yes, 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 the consistency. um yes, you see, the thing about consistency is that I always say it, and it is something that I heard my mentor say over and over again. And before I first submitted myself to mentorship, I personally struggled with consistency. I was the person who would do things when they were convenient. Um, but the thing about consistency is that consistency is a muscle that you build, but you cannot build it on your own. And that's the truth. You can't do it on your own because the truth of the matter is that you have to behold to become. I know that personally I became consistent because I had a mentor, or I have a mentor that is consistent. In fact, if you think I'm consistent, I always say, wait till you meet my mentor. I have just the way you
Wow.
like, I was in awe when I first met. I was like, how can a human being be this consistent? But just like you said, just by watching her over the years, it made me know that things were possible. And I feel like a lot of times we surround ourselves with people, or we put ourselves in communities or places where we don't have the right examples. And see, if you do not have a model, you cannot become. And I
Mm.
said it. Take me anywhere. You don't have, and that is why even when you look at, let's take parenting for instance. When you look at your children, you will see that if you have someone whose dad was a footballer, the person is likely to become a footballer. If you had someone whose dad was in the public service, the person is likely to be in the public service. If you have someone whose dad was a politician, the person is likely to. So, and it is not because these people train you to be that way. It is because some things are caught while some things are
Mhm.
taught. So, because you sat down in that space, seeing this happen, seeing your dad do this and do this and do this, you beheld until you understood the blueprints, you know. And so, in the academy is structured in a way that builds the skill of consistency into you, even when you don't know that we are building it. Because I know that if I am training ready-to-wear entrepreneurs, you don't get to decide when to show up. You don't open your shop, you don't sell. It's ready to wear now. You've made the clothes. You're not waiting for someone to give you money to sew. You've made the clothes. So if you don't actually show up, you don't sell. Yesterday on the stream, I was saying that there is not such thing that a good market sells itself. It is the market that you sell that sells.
Mhm.
It's not nothing like
Mhm.
a good market sells itself. You don't sell the market, good or bad, it will stay with you. It is the
Yeah.
market that you sell that sells itself. And so if you don't train yourself, in the practice of consistency, you will not be able to constantly ensure that you show up and your team shows up. I know, like you said, if you're a fashion CEO, I always say, and I will say it all the time, if it triggers you, you'll be all right. We do not have bad staff. We do not have
Mhm.
bad tailors. We have
Mhm.
untrained fashion entrepreneurs. That's what we have.
Mm.
And because we have untrained fashion entrepreneurs, you are not able to pass the vision. You that is vision carrier, the vision is not clear to you. The
Yeah.
vision is not visioning, but you want the other person to carry it and run with it. How now? And so, if your staff cannot see you being consistent,
Mm.
then you don't expect them to be consistent. How will they be
No.
consistent? You must model it.
Mhm.
Anything you want your business to become, you must become that thing first.
Yeah.
You must become that thing first, because when they see you, they'll say, even Madam 8 o'clock, she's in this shop. Who are we? Who are we not to be here by 8? Because they know that when they come late, you'll be sitting down watching them through the camera. But
Yeah.
when you don't have a system, you don't show up, or even if you go once in a while, you don't have a line manager that you've been able to build in your vision and they're able to show up. That's how that's why chaos shows up in your business,
Yeah.
So yes, consistency and commitment is not, it's not like you have a choice. You must do it. And we teach those skills in the academy. So I'm just going to ask you, since you have raised the issue of consistency, if you had to consider on a scale of 1 to 10,
Mhm.
how your consistency quotient has improved through the Now we're in day 78 through the 78 days in the academy. What would you say?
Thank you for that question. I think now I was at 0 consistency. What? But now I'm at a solid 5 going on to 6. Yeah.
Nice. That is good. And of course, like I always say, it is progress over perfection. You can't start from ground zero and expect to go from 0 to 10 in, 3 months. I mean, this habits took you years to form. Whatever age you are, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you have formed them. So you need to now be able to put yourself in a system where you're now consistently unlearning and relearning. That's what you actually need to do. So thank you so much for sharing that. And now I'm going to ask you, so we're rounding up because I know that it's almost midnight and I really want you to go to bed. So I'm going to round this up. So tell me, perhaps you have someone in South Africa, in East Africa, in West Africa, wherever, a fashion entrepreneur who is thinking, all these Instagram people, how do I even know that I'll even when I finish paying this money now, they will now come and tell me story. I will know now. So you have someone who is on the fence, wondering if this transformation is actually possible. If the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp can meet them, where they are. Oh, there's another question I'll ask you, but just answer this one first. If the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp can meet them where they are and can take them to the next version of them, of their business, of who they are. If you have someone who is on the fence and you had to tell the person, something based off your experience, what would it be?
Okay. So if I was to tell you, I think you were breaking up a little bit. I think it's on my end. But
Okay.
just give me a second. I put on my earphones. I think I couldn't hear you properly. Just a second. Oops. Can you hear me now? Can you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you loud and clear. I can hear
Okay.
you loud and clear.
Could you take that again?
Okay. So I said that if you had someone who was on the fence, whether in East Africa, West Africa, South Africa, wherever, thinking, is there really something for me to get? Is there really something for me to gain from this bootcamp? What is in it for me? What do I even have to gain? Why should I even register for this bootcamp? They are thinking, all these things I'm seeing on Instagram, are they really true? Can I really get transformed? What would you have to tell that person?
Okay. I have been through many accelerator programs in the country, but none is like this. I promise you. I have done so many business forums and business accelerator programs and one fashion course, but this one you absolutely get a 360 kind of training, where it's not like we've talked about it even through the conversation we have been having. And if you are even clueless about what you're doing, like I felt like I was in a forest without a roadmap. But from the very beginning, from where you're taught about your customer, where you're taught about how to even think about what you would produce for them, fabrics that you will use, measurements, from how to take good measurements, how to come up with a sizing chart that is suitable for your client, to the point of you're developing, a collection for them. to how you're selling to them, to how you're marketing and selling to them, how you're packaging, to how you're talking to them when they bring in their orders, and how to respond to their queries, and then how to do after sales service. Like, it's a whole holistic kind of training where there are no gaps. Like, you won't leave the academy feeling like there's something that wasn't touched in the whole value chain or in the whole ecosystem of creating a fashion brand. So for me, as I've compared with all the other courses I did, I came out I was still confused even after doing all those courses. But here I've been taught step by step every day for all those days. There's something that I'm working on in the business from the very beginning, from the very basic to the very complicated kind of steps. And so if you're a fashionpreneur and you're struggling with your business, especially your ready-to-wear business, this is the place to be. Someone will hold your hand. You will have the resources, the toolkits. We're talking about the guides and the voice notes, deliberate guides to help you be able to transform your ready-to-wear business and take it to the next level. It is a no-brainer. Like, this is something that you need to get into.
All right. Thank you so much, Carole. Like, I always love when you say, I was in a forest. Carole says, I was in a forest. I didn't even know where I was going to until I came into the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. And that is really what the light does. When the Bible says that the light shines through the darkness and darkness cannot comprehend it,
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't understand that manifestation until you pass through something that is a transformative journey. Then you now really
Absolutely.
understand what it means, for the light to shine through the darkness. And that's really the experience that we curate at the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. It's not just, you see, like Carole has said, she said she has been through business accelerator programs. She has been through, because the truth of the matter is that even I, on my, in my journey as a fashion entrepreneur, so I wasn't someone, how I just said that, when you grow up with a model, it's easier for you to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come from a family that had anybody that had ever started a business. My parents were civil servants. They worked in the civil service. They came out. So starting a business was like breaking new frontiers. I had no roadmap. I had nobody saying, this is what you do, this is how you do it. Even, my dad, who had done a few things in business, he may just tell me peripheral things that may scratch the surface, generic things. Do you understand? But sometimes even the things they'll even tell you even leave you more confused. Because the truth of the matter is that if you have not walked in somebody's shoes, you will not even know where it is paining the person. And that's actually the beauty of me being your coach, if I do say so myself, is that I say it all the time that I am the first student in the boot camp. That the things that I teach in the boot camp are divinely orchestrated. There are sometimes I am preparing lecture notes and myself I am writing to-do lists to send to my staff because I'm like, and I'm collecting your I say I will not help others, and then it's me that will not be helped. So yes, there's a boot camp participant who during her one-on-one session said that she's currently undergoing an MBA, but that the things that she learned in the boot camp is just helping her fly through her MBA. Like she's just acing, like she was struggling with the MBA before she joined the boot camp, but because she was in the boot camp, the kind of clarity she got is now even making, like, you imagine that you are in an MBA that's supposed to be teaching you how to run a business, but it's not the boot camp that is teaching you how to pass the MBA. So you're like, that is a boot camp that is teaching her how to pass her MBA. So yes, this boot camp is more than an MBA. I say it with the highest sense of responsibility. It is more than an MBA. And the truth of the matter is that you will not really even understand what we are saying to you until you enter the bootcamp. There are
It's
some
true.
levels of people's transformation that you cannot even share. you know you can only give an idea of,
Mm,
this what will happen to you, or this one. But you need to really experience it for yourself to really know, you know what happened to you. So I
yeah.
used to, when I was younger, there used to be this story of the 12 blind men, that went to see an elephant. And to one person, the elephant had a long tusk, it had a snout, it just, he had a definition of the elephant from where the part of the elephant that he touched. So all 12 of them had 12 different perspectives about what an elephant looked like. And that's really
Mm,
how it is in the boot camp. Because the boot camp
yeah.
kind of meets you where you are. Wherever you are on your journey,
It's true.
the boot camp will meet you there. It will really just meet you there. Like, you won't be in the boot camp and think, okay, maybe this is not really for me. You will find anywhere you are, we will find you. We will find you and we will solve the problem that you don't know that you have,
Yeah.
right? Because that is what we have been called to do. So,
Mm,
this boot camp came out because I've walked in your shoes. I've been through these problems. I've suffered through it. I've spent money in hard. I've spent I've spent money, just trying to get it right. So,
mm,
you know, having done this, having been through that, it became a burden for me. Like, why will I know all these things I know? And then I still see people making the same mistakes that I made.
yeah.
I still see people struggling. I struggled with bespoke for over almost a decade. And then I now came into ready to wear and I had to figure out the path to profitable, because it doesn't mean that, ready to wear you just be profitable. No. Do I think ready to wear is the best path to profitability and
Okay.
scalability? Yes, I absolutely do. But you have to get it right. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
get it wrong, you don't get to get it wrong in ready to wear. Actually, you don't even have the luxury of getting it wrong, because every wrong measurement, every wrong decision, every wrong inventory, every wrong hiring is going to cost you even more than your profits. It may
Yeah.
cost you so much that you won't even be able to recover. And that's why when
Mm,
we say join mentorship, if you like, self, don't join. The money that you think you want to pay for bootcamp, you will pay it for mistakes. That's
mm-hmm.
the truth.
It's
You will
true.
use it to be solving mistakes can be avoided. And so that's why we say come into the boot camp and get the right
Yeah.
knowledge. And I'm raising a generation of fashion entrepreneurs who are profitable. That
Mm,
is what we are doing in the boot camp. We are raising a generation. We are shifting the narrative of, oh, you have to be in fashion for 100 years before you actually become profitable. No, we are shifting that narrative. There's a blueprint.
yes.
And the truth of the matter is that if you only submit yourself to obedience and implementation, you will actually reap, the fruits of the land.
Mm,
You need to understand that there's a difference between being busy and being profitable. What happens is that a
true.
lot of us are busy, busy, busy. Even me, I was there. I was always busy. I wake up in the morning before 7 in my shop. I was busy with empty bank accounts, and it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to
Yeah.
have done business for 10 years to become profitable. You can actually turn a profit in your first year. You can do it.
Mm,
You just need to know the right strategy. And that's what we
yeah.
teach at the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. So, Carole, thank you so much for being on my profitable fashionpreneur journey. I wanted to ask you a question. So, I wanted to actually know, just so that you can
Mm,
give us more insights. So, I know
yeah.
you've been running CAVERROH for a while. Do you have a team? And what shifts? So, we already know that your profits have shifted because you have shared that. But if you have a team, I would like to know if there has been a shift in your team participation. you know has your team have you been able to see that your team is now moving from confusion to clarity, just like you? Has there been any shift in your team, if you're running a fashion team or if you're outsourcing? Can you share on that?
Okay. So I was outsourcing before, but unfortunately, the company that I was outsourcing to folded. They closed business. And so right now I am looking into starting my own production in-house. Before I was doing it by myself at the house, but then the business grew, and then I started outsourcing, and now they've folded, but now I have to come back and start producing for myself. But then now I need to hire a team. And that's why I keep saying this thing is so divine. I can, it's a story that I probably need to put on paper one day or in a book or something, because you have come at just the right time. Because now I see the things that I need to do in order to lead a team effectively. If I had started or if I'd hired before, I would have been in such a mess, because I wouldn't have led the team effectively or given them the kind of structure that they need in order to, produce the kind of work I expect them to produce. With an outsourcing team, you take the patterns to them, and instructions. There's something we call it. The te-
It's
I forget the name, but sorry, the tech pack.
your
Yes,
tech
the
pack.
tech pack. Yes, you do the tech pack, and they manage their tailors for themselves. It's their problem. You just give them the timeline, and they work with your timeline. But now when it's in house, it's you to manage, everything from point to point. And so I'm so grateful that even coming to hiring, I will not just hire blindly, because I know there's this last week we are going to be dealing with, hiring, and then also I'll be able to guide them according to how I need the business to be run. And so I'm so grateful that this bootcamp came at the time that it came, because I'll be better for it.
All right. Thank you so much. We have had on the stream Carole Mwangu, and she's streaming live from Kenya. She is the founder and creative director of CAVERROH, a Kenyan ready-to-wear fashion brand that makes versatile, comfortable, and stylish clothing to empower women to live a fashion-forward life. And she has been sharing. Have you been here? Have you been here? She has shared her incredible journey in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. She told us how her business was an expensive hobby. She can't even say it was a business. And she told us how even by herself, she needed systems and structures. And the
Yep.
bootcamp first helped her transform her own life so that she can now effect that transformation in her business. Are you following? When profitpreneurs share, they share with so much insights that, there's just so much to take away. And she said that she was in a forest, but that the bootcamp brought her to the light. And that she used to say she wasn't a social media person. She used to hide. But now look at Carole, a bright and shining star. The boot camp has made it possible for her to show up for her business in every sense of the word, show up. And she's gradually becoming the CEO that her business needs. And you can really become that CEO too.
Yeah.
The next cohort of the bootcamp starts on the 1st of November 2025 and runs through to the 31st of January 2026. You do not want to go into a new year packing on the same mistakes that took you through 2025. You want to be able to even go into your Christmas season ready to actually convert those sales. We will teach you strategies in the bootcamp that would help you be able to plan the ecosystem of your fashion business so that you can position yourself for profitability, for efficiency, and for scaling. Because, yes, your business can really run without you, but it's not going to run without you if you don't put in the right systems. And you can't put in the right systems if you don't know how to put in the right system. And so we equip you with that knowledge in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. What we do at the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp is to make sure that you never think of any part of your business and say, I feel stuck. We make you make sure that when you encounter that problem, you know exactly, with exactitude, what to do to actually break through that problem. We equip you with a toolkit that makes it possible for you to run profitable fashion businesses. And so you can be like Carole and start running a profitable fashion business that actually honors you, honors your customer, and honors God. So, Carole, I'm just going to ask you for your final words, last words, and we are, because we've been on this stream for 1 hour, and I know it is now midnight in Kenya, so you need to go to bed. So, give us your final words so that we can wrap up this interesting episode of My Profitable Fashionpreneur Journey.
Okay. All right. For me, it's to say, I have my background is in IT. I have a bachelor in information technology. And then later
Oh,
on, I went on when I discovered that fashion is my thing. I went back to school and did fashion school. And then I've done a couple of courses in between. But I can say, hands down, this has been the best investment of my time and my money. I'm not downplaying those other processes that I've been through because they have led me to this point. But I'm just saying the intensity and the intentionality with which this program is put together is just out of this world. And I'm so grateful to you, Coach Wura, for taking, just being obedient and taking that mandate to teach other fashionpreneurs just how to run a profitable fashion business. Thank you so much, and may God richly bless you, and may He expand your territory. And this information has to go everywhere. This news has to travel, and I pray that we will be able to make that news travel in order for other people not to make the same mistakes that we have made along the way. So I am so grateful for even having me on this live session and allowing me to share my story. I'm thankful, and I look forward to the kind of business that I'll be running in a couple of years. And I'll be saying that this was because things turned around after I joined the Profit Fashionpreneur Academy Bootcamp. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you and bless your team as well.
thank you so much, Carole. Very humbling words from you. I am grateful. We are just, they used to say, we are only but pencils in the hand of the Creator. So, the next cohort of the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp starts on the 1st of November 2025. To register for it, there's a banner rolling on the screen that actually has, the details to register for the bootcamp. And we're also going to drop the details right now in the comment section of the WhatsApp number that you can reach out to, so that you can actually message us if you need to join in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. And of course, Carole said she saw this link, but someone else sent it to her. And because someone else sent it to her, she realized that perhaps this was a divine assignment. So if this link has come to you by chance or by design, and you know someone who you think needs this knowledge, who you think needs this, needs this transformation, then the only thing you can actually do is to forward the link. That's all you have to do.
Yep.
That's why I say it all the time. I say the Bible says that Paul planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. Your only job is to plant and let God do the rest. Just like someone planted and Carole had seen it, God was already telling her, oh, she did not hear. But then because someone else planted, God was able to water and give the increase.
Yeah.
So please share the link. We want it to go far and wide. You want to share. People need to hear Carole's journey because you don't know who is walking in Carole's exact shoes now that needs to know that there is hope, there is a way out, and there is a great design that God has for their future in their fashion business. So thank you so much, Carole, for honoring me with your presence. I do not take it for granted at all. Even if I'm your coach, I don't take it for granted. I do not take it for granted that, someone shows up and stays till midnight just to share their story. I am not paying anybody any money. I am not giving anybody any incentive. I did not even coerce anybody to. Were you coerced?
No, not at all. It's a pleasure to share my journey and to just spread the word around.
Yes, so thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. I do not take it for granted. And I would let you know, go and say, have a wonderful night rest. As always, this has been My Profitable Fashionpreneur Journey, and we have been talking with Carole Mwangu, a stunning CEO and founder of CAVERROH. And you want to follow her. Her handle is your handle CAVERROH?
Yes, it is CAVERROH on all platforms.
Okay. So her handle is at CAVERROH on all platforms. I'm going to be dropping that. Is that with a double ROH?
Yes, a CAVERROH.
Can I be heard?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So you want to follow CAVERROH on all platforms. Yes, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Pinterest. You want to actually follow. Okay. Okay. So you want to actually follow CAVERROH to see, how her journey will keep progressing even after her time in the PFA Ready-to-Wear Bootcamp. Thank you so much for being on this live stream. Remember, we are not going to have live streams during the weekend. Saturdays and Sundays, no live stream. But we'll join you again on Monday with yet another profitable fashionpreneur. And she'll be sharing her own incredible journey in the academy. It's same time, 9 p.m., same station on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We'll be streaming live, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Carole, and have a wonderful night rest.
Thank you.
See you on Monday.
Bye. Good night. Bye. Thank you.
Still hiding your confidence because your outfit isn't doing the talking? My name is Wuraola Ubaka. I am called your profitable fashion coach because if your business isn't making money, why are you even in business? At Wura, we don't just make clothes. We create statements. Our timeless ready-to-wear pieces are created for the woman who walks in grace, owns her space, and turns heads effortlessly. And if you are a fashionpreneur struggling to turn your talent into real income, especially if you are stuck in bespoke and want to transition to ready-to-wear, the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy is your next step. We teach fashion creatives how to structure, scale, and sell profitably. From the woman who wears it to the woman who makes it. Confidence and profits go hand in hand. Wura dresses you. The PFA builds you. So come, join the movement. Wear confidence and build profits with Wura and the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy.